Well, hello, my fabulous friends. I hope you're doing well. Well, the past lives readings I have done, I've gotten a great response from. So I'm going to continue on through the royal family. So I am going to now do William. And just remind everybody, I'm doing the past life reading that I was taught 10 years ago now. And it's very profound because knowing some of the things that we are carrying over for our previous life can explain maybe habits that we have that we can't break, maybe feeling while we're lost, or just wondering, like, why are these people around me? I don't know who they are. So, anyways, it can answer a lot of questions, it can bridge some things over. And sometimes it's just fun. Sometimes it's just curiosity. What did I do? What did I do for work? Who are my parents, etc., etc. So I'm doing a quite an abbreviated past life reading here. If you were to get one, and you can get one in the link below, it's quite more in depth. But they take about an hour or so, so I don't want to do a reading that long for the channel. So I'm just going to do an abbreviated one, just so we can get a general idea of what their previous life was before this one. And I'm only going back one life. Although, if you wanted your own, you can go back 2, 3, 4, as far back as you want. So I'm going one lifetime backwards for William. But before we get started, like I'm doing all Christmas time, let's do a positive, nice message for everybody. This time of year can be very upsetting for people. It can be exhausting for other people. And just whatever's going on in the world, let's just have something nice and peaceful. A little message from our winter forest friends. Instinct, and I think we've had this one before. Where is your soul leading you? What is your body asking for? Pay attention to what you're feeling deep within your being, and don't overthink things. You already know what you must do, from the fox spirit. So, I think the fox is telling us, you know what? If you don't want to go shopping today in the crowds, don't. If you don't want to eat that one more piece of pie, don't. Just really listen to your inner self. I really like that message for this time of year. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. Now, the first thing I do is let's see what gender that William was in his previous life. What gender was William in his previous life? And, I've had to say this on every video. You know what I mean. Please don't at me about social studies word about gender. Was he a boy or a girl? Was he a man or a woman? Was he male, female? And you know what? We'll be talking about the language that was back then. So that would have been probably like in the mid 1800s. Or early 1800s, and they would have used male or female. They wouldn't have asked what your pronouns were. So let's figure out what gender was William in his previous lifetime. What gender was William in his previous lifetime? Oh, Queen of Candles, Queen of Wands. He was a female. He was a female. All right. And Queen of Wands, that makes sense. That's the Leo card. So he probably was royal in his previous life as well. Okay. And I have them all separated into suits, into majors and minors, so we can do our proper reading. All right. So he was a female. Now we're going to figure out who are his parents, and why it's important to do that is because how you grow up, or who your parents are, or if they were there, if they were absent, has a lot to do with what shaped your personality, what shaped the circumstances that you lived in. So first of all, let's see, was his father there? And if his father shows up in reverse, that means his father left during his childhood. And then we see, did his father leave by death or divorce, or did he go to jail? Did he, we had one yesterday, the father possibly went into a mental asylum. So that was interesting. So who is William's father? What is the personality type of William's father? Cards are ready. King of good cheer, King of Cups. Wasn't that interesting? Because his father this time is a King of Cups as a Scorpio. And he looks like he's upright. So he was present in William's life as a child. So now let's check his mother card. William's mother. William's mother. William's mother. What was the personality archetype of William's mother? What was the personality type of William's mother? What was William's mother? What can you tell us about William's mother? Ooh, Queen of Canes, which is Queen of Swords in reverse. Now, if you haven't seen Harry's, this is going to freak you out. Harry's mother also was not in his life as a child. So let's figure out, did William's mother leave leave by death or divorce? So let's see, did William's mother leave by death or divorce? And to find that out, we pick up the swords pile. Like I said, major, minor, swords, and courts. So we pick up the swords pile. Did William's previous mother leave by death or divorce? Did William's previous mother leave by death or divorce? Ooh, 10 of swords, death. She might have been murdered. She might have been murdered. And look at the controversy about his mother's death this lifetime. The energy around that was Diana murdered, and I just said she might have been murdered. And look at his dad is the King of Cups. Charles is a Scorpio. He's the King of Cups. Now, this Queen of Canes, this would be the Queen of Swords. Diana was also a Cups as a Cancerian. But in his previous life, his mother was a Queen of Swords. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So let's now see, did he grow up in a happy household? So let's see what was the general emotional, because like I said, if we find out what's going on with his childhood, then you can look a little bit more into what are some of the reasons or decisions they made as adults. And that then can go on to what the soul lesson was, etc., etc. And this also will tell us at what age-ish that his mother died. Or remember, he's a she in this lifetime. Her mother died. What age did her mother die? What age when William, previous life, was it a happy home? What was the happiness factor of the home? And now we're choosing cups for emotion. Oh, 2 of good cheer. Okay, now we got a couple of things going on. His parents really got along well. They were soulmates in some regards. And because this is a 2, she would have passed away early in William's life in this lifetime. So he would have lost his mother early in his life, but while his mother was alive, the parents really got along well and were somewhat soulmates. So now let's see, what was the financial household like? What was the finance of the household that William this lifetime grew up in? What was the financial energy of the household that William in that previous lifetime grew up in? What was the financial? 7 of gifts. Well, they had money, but they might not have had a lot of access to it. So also if he passed away quite young, maybe his father started a business, and so it was early stages of the business. Maybe eventually the business did well, but while William was alive in that lifetime as a young girl, it feels like a lot of the money was tied up, and they were definitely not suffering in any way, but the cash flow wasn't there. That's what I'm getting at with this Seven of Gifts. That's Seven of Pentacles. So that's money you invest knowing eventually you'll get a return on it. So that, like, again, maybe, all the money was put into the house or business. So, the money, the access wasn't there, but the affluency was there. So not a lot of cash flow, but a lot of assets, and that is kind of leaning towards a royalty, isn't it? You think about it, a lot of the dukes and earls and like, okay, for example, Downton Abbey, right? A lot of the wealth of the family was tied up in the actual property and castle and paying um, servants and whatnot. And a lot of them have had to come up with very creative ways to keep it going because the cash flow just isn't there. They're really rich in assets. Maybe they're rich in jewels and beautiful properties, but the cash flow just wasn't there. So I'm thinking, I'm wondering if he was some type of royal. But let's keep reading. Let's keep reading. So we now know, what do we know so far? William was a female. His parents, he grew up in, it looks like, in a happy home, but with just his father. His mother had passed away at an early age, possibly murdered. Possibly murdered. If this was your personal reading, I would probably read into that a little bit more, but it's very clear she died. So I'm just going to leave it at that. All right. So let's see what kind of personality William had as a child growing up. Now we know these circumstances. So what we do is we take our court cards and now we shuffle the pages. So what was William like as a child? Or maybe I'll call him Wilhelmina so we aren't confused. So what was William in his previous lifetime as a little girl, growing up in a home with a, what had just occurred to me? I want to see if he had a stepmother. It just occurred, look at the clock is agreeing with me, and wouldn't that echo what he has right now? So let's see if it comes up reversal, no, he didn't have a stepmother. If it comes up upright, then yes, he did have a stepmother. If it comes up upright. So did William in his previous lifetime have a stepmother? Did William in his previous lifetime have a stepmother? No, Queen of Good Cheer, this is in reverse. No, he did not. So his father never remarried. That doesn't mean a female wasn't present in his life. His father could have had a mistress, right? I'm not sure if that would be called a mistress since he was widowed. But anyways, let's see. What was William like as a child? So we're looking at 0 to 18. 0 to 18. What was it like for William being a young girl growing up without a mother? What was it like for William growing up? Well, that one jumped out. Page of Gifts. He's very quiet and studious. Very quiet and studious. Kept to himself. Well, that would make herself. So what was she like as a young adult? So this would be from 18 to 35. And this will tell us a little bit if she got married, if she struggled with that. Let's see, what was she like from 18 to 35? Oh, wow. Knight of Canes, so Knight of Swords in reverse. Little upset with life. And I'm getting like lonely and drifting and maybe gossipy. Could have tried to become a writer in some respects. Could have tried maybe to be, a journalist. Not too sure. I've seen books and journalists so let's say we're going back to 1820, that kind of era. Women wrote books, and women wrote in magazines and whatnot. It looks like she ventured off, though, leaving the family behind. I'm getting that kind of feeling, like walking away from everything. I don't get a feeling that she was married or with anybody, or this could have been the outcome of being with somebody, but we'll get to partnership right away. I just want to get a feeling of what the personality developed. What kind of personality developed? So after age 35, what was William like as a mature adult? Queen of Gifts. Okay, after 35, she got married, right? That's the card that definitely, because that's the mother, that's the wife card, and she was actually really good at it. Very, very good at it. So maybe she had to go sow her wild oats. Maybe she tried writing or whatever, but after 35, she was definitely a wife and a mother. All right, so let's go on. So it looks like a little bit of young adult angst here, trying to figure out what she wanted to be when she grew up. But it looks like she ended up getting married. So let's find out what was the personality of the person that she married. Now, we aren't going for gender. We're going for personality. So was the person timid? Was the person younger than her, older than her? Was it her life partner? Were they a go-getter? Were they, a good husband, a bad husband? Let's see. We're just looking for the personality, not necessarily gender. We're going to assume it was a male. So what was the personality of that male? Because back then they didn't have same-sex marriages. And so we're asking, what was her partner like? And I know there was probably a lot of fake marriages and whatnot. People did what they had to do to survive in society. But we're not gonna assume that. All right, we're gonna assume that this was a marriage because she was the Queen of Pentacles. So that's the mother and the wife card. All right, what kind of personality did her husband have? Now, if the first card shows up in reverse, that means she had an early relationship that ended. And then we'll read again. We keep reading until we get an upright. So that would show us how many relationships that she had. All right. Oh, see, in reverse. Page of Candles in reverse. So she had actually a childhood sweetheart. So maybe somebody, she met while she was a teenager, but that one just really didn't work out. Well, maybe because they were too young, or maybe they weren't meant for each other. Back then, there was still a lot of parent influence on who you married. And let's see. And, especially if she had a King of Cups as a father, she was probably close to her father. He's, that's more emotional. If it was a King of Swords, it would have been like a cold, distant relationship if that was her only parent. So she possibly, maybe her father didn't like this person, or this person just moved on. I mean, they were young, they were pages. So let's see. Let's see if we get another one for William. There we go. Knight of Gifts. Knight of Gifts. So her as the queen of gifts, that she was an older, as a mature person, she married a Knight of Gifts. So she married somebody who is, I would say, much of a homebody, possibly a bit young at heart, because Knight would be younger than the Queen, but I wouldn't say by a lot. Maybe somebody lower in her status, right? Because back then it had a lot to do with class and status and whatnot. So it might have been somebody a notch down from her status, even though he was, her age. So it could have been a notch down from her status, but it's definitely somebody who's a homebody, who preferred to stay at home, but very slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race. So maybe that was a big change from her Knight of Swords in reverse little spiel that she had there. Maybe she just found somebody who just wanted to settle down and get married and make a home and happily ever after kind of thing. Well, it's certainly not her Page of Candles here. Now, if the Knight of Candles, which is Knight of Wands, would have shown up, that could have possibly been that eventually that she married the page that she had to give up. But I want to point out something. She became the Page of Gifts, which is the page, or she became the Queen of Pentacles as an adult. And who did William marry? His own Queen of Pentacles, Catherine, as a Capricorn. And who was he married in his previous life? Him as the Queen of Pentacles. He married another earth sign, Knight of Gifts, Knight of Pentacles. And guess who's the Knight of Pentacles in his lifetime this time? Harry. See what I mean? The bridges that are formed? Like, does that not give you shivers? Does that not give you shivers? All right. So now we know. So now we know. All right. So now we know the partner. So now let's see what was William's occupation as the Queen of Pentacles. What was William's occupation as the Queen of Pentacles? What was William's occupation as the Queen? Now, I know some of you say, well, women didn't work back then, but like I said, could have been a writer, a teacher before you were married. A lot of women were teachers. You were allowed to work, like look at in stores, as a clerk. You were allowed to work until you were married. But we'll see. Barmaids, right? There was women worked back then. Don't say they didn't. But once they were married, generally they didn't. Their job was the home and the children. And as the Queen of Pentacles, that she would have been a great wife and mother and very dedicated to that. But let's see, what kind of occupation did she have? What kind of occupation or career, or what was her line of work? Ooh, strength in reverse. Strength in reverse. So let's see. Now, when we do these past life, it's a little bit different. So I have to look up, I've got it's a little bit different because we're talking about occupations, not the actual archetype. And when it's in reverse like that, it means it was unsuccessful. Peacemaker, zoologist, person with authority. Yeah, I think here we have a tyrant, troublemaker, fall from power. I'm thinking here, this is her middle time before she got married as a young adult. I think there was maybe that breakup of that young love. Sometimes that young love is so powerful. It sounds like she didn't have any type of real occupation, but was a bit of a troublemaker. You know what? I'm thinking she was a gossip writer because we had the Knight of Swords there in reverse, and that can be a gossip writer. And yeah, you better believe they had gossip back then. And here she is, a bit of a troublemaker. And this would be like, instead of keeping secrets, letting secrets out, a bit of a troublemaker. It doesn't look like she was very successful at it, though. And who knows, maybe that's how she met her husband to be, or maybe that's why she chose the quiet life. She possibly could have embarrassed herself by what she wrote or caught in a lie, that kind of thing. But this isn't a strong occupation. So I think in some respects I was right that she probably just dabbled in a few things before she got married. And I'm thinking it was probably like a gossip writer or a newspaper columnist about something. Um, and wasn't that successful and decided, well, let's just go be a wife and mother then. All right. Um, I find now I want to tell you something. Look at, we found another bridge. Look how much William hates gossip now. Look how much they fight. In his position, he lost his mother to gossip and media. Think about that. Like, it's just all of a sudden you start to see these webs coming back and forth. And this lifetime, he's fighting the gossip and media. And possibly in his last lifetime, he was the gossip and media. And I'm not saying your mother has to die for the karma to balance out, but maybe the little bit of karma about some gossip that maybe he wrote about a lie, and now look at the lie he's living with the rumors about him and Rose. And we know that's all a lie, but he has to live with it. And possibly he did some of those same lies to other people in his previous life, so he's balancing out his karma. This reading is fascinating. All right, so let's discover what was his soul's purpose. What was his soul's purpose in his previous life? What was his soul's purpose? What was his soul's purpose? Oh, you know what I forgot to do? And I'll do it right after this. I forgot to check to see if about his relationship, if it was happy, if they were financially secure. That's what I knew. I was forgetting a step. I just got sidetracked thinking he was he was Queen of Pentacles in his last life, or he grew into the archetype of the Queen of Pentacles. And this lifetime, he married a Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so what was his soul's purpose? 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 And did he achieve his soul purpose? If the card is upright, means he achieved his soul's purpose. If the card is in reverse, means he didn't. Means he didn't. And sometimes that can give you answers with what you're struggling with this time. Yeah, I knew I forgot a step. I'll quickly finish up with, was his relationship happy and were they financially secure? All right. What was his soul's purpose in his last lifetime? Oh, interesting cut. Oh, the High Priestess. The High Priestess. Now, that is actually very interesting because Harry's was the magician. So it's almost like they're following each other. That was really interesting. To heal by using natural ways, to pass on or hand down esoteric knowledge, to help cure the world's ills and offer comfort. And look at how he is doing with his Earthshot prize. Solace and understanding to those in distress and pain. To empower others through the medium of meditation and developing one's intuition. To live a responsible and conscientious manner, to help with the healthy and safe birthing of children and secure the future of mankind, to learn to be alone without being lonely. Wow. And also he is, this lifetime, he's Cancer with that moon there. So, and he fulfilled that in his previous life. So I'm wondering now, that being the mother, I wonder if once he became a mother and settled down into that, I wonder if he did a lot of volunteer work. But look at what's near and dear to his heart in this lifetime. And look at the mother that he birthed from, who taught him about a lot of those humble things. Maybe he taught her. But he was successful in completing that soul cycle. So let's see. I'm just going to complete this cycle here. I'm going to quickly ask, what's his sole purpose this lifetime? What's his sole purpose this lifetime? What's his sole purpose this lifetime? And I'm getting myself mixed up. What's his sole purpose this lifetime? So what sole purpose did he carry from his last lifetime into this lifetime? Oh my God, the emperor. He's to be king this time. You guys, that's why I shuffled them in front of you. You can't make it up. He was born to be king. His sole purpose this lifetime is the emperor. He and everybody, look at the persona that he has. Everybody can't wait till he's going to become king, and he's going to be a leader type of king. It's not going to be in name only. He's going to come in and he's going to clean out house properly. Oh my God. So he completed so now he's a beautiful humanitarian that he completed his last soul lifetime. And so this time he's going to carry that into being a fantastic leader. Honestly, you can't make these cards up. So anyways, let's get back to, I just want to see with his partnership, I can't believe I forgot that. Were they happy? Were they happy as a couple? Were they happy as a couple? Now, I'm not saying that Harry was his wife in a previous lifetime, because I've done Harry's. But what I'm saying is the Harry's type of personality, right? The positive side, because that card was upright. But let's see, were they happy as a couple? Were they happy was William happy as a couple in his previous life? With William as a female, was she happy? Were they did they have a happy household? That's what I want to know. Did they have a happy household? Oh, 10 of good cheer. Oh my God. He had a fabulous family, or she had a great family, great relationship, happy family, joy in the family. And look at the family vibes he's creating in this lifetime. So there's no drama in his last lifetime, so he doesn't have anything to clean up in this lifetime. Oh, that's why I wanted to go back. So what was the financial household like? What was the financial household like? What was the financial household like? What was the finances like in that household? What was the finances like? 9 of gifts. They were very wealthy. Very wealthy. I have a funny feeling he grew up in royalty. Yeah, he grew up with a lot of he created, and look at, they were both pentacles. But pentacles, you get 2 pentacles together, you've got a recipe for money. You've got a real recipe for money. So I don't know if they had to work for it, but his last lifetime. So this lifetime is really filled with blessings for him. Really filled for he did well in his last lifetime. He did well for humanity. He did well for children. He did well for the earth. And this lifetime he receives a lot of blessings. A little bit of drama there with his brother that he has to clear up. I just want to see, I'm going to pull out I'm going to pull out the page and knights, and let's see if they were brother and sister. Knights and pages. I'm going to pull out pages, queen, king, page, queen. I'm going to pull out and see if they were siblings in the previous lifetime, and if they got along. Was Harry a sibling of William in his last lifetime? Was Harry a sibling of William in his last lifetime? Was Harry a sibling of William? A knight would be an older sibling, a page would be a younger sibling. Reverse would be no. No, page of candles in reverse, no. Oh, look at, that's what William was, his first love. Oh, so they were they were a couple. Now, don't get weirded out. Everybody was male, female, mother, father, lover, brother, sister. I mean, you come here to experience different soul aspects. Oh, so they were, aren't these fascinating? They were childhood sweethearts, but then had to break up. They weren't allowed to be together. And look at this lifetime. They've split up as well as young adults. Well, they were in their 30s, in their 30s. So I'm going to predict they'll never get back together based on this previous lifetime. They lived through that again. Interesting. Well, if you want your own past life reading, the link is down below. Go ahead and book. And thank you very much for your time. Let me know what you think of these. I'm getting so many good responses. I'm going to go right through the whole royal family. I think this is fascinating. Absolutely fascinating how we carry things over. Thanks so much. I appreciate you all. Take good care. Bye for now.